Hello listeners, today we are going to see one game. This game is played between Pillsbury and Lasker from 1896. Let's start the game. The game started d4, d5, c4, e6, knight to c3, knight to f6. And now what? Now played a move. It was played knight to f3, one of the main moves. c5. Now we are entering the semi-Tara's defense. This is rich in complexity and types of middle games. So let's begin our analysis. Okay, semi-Tara's defense. The game here started with the theory actually goes cd5, knight d5 and things like that, but in the game was played bishop g5. Remember, this is 1896, almost 180 years ago this is played, and that's why it can be complex. That's why they don't know the theory of now. Okay, so bishop g5, now c into d4, attacking the c3, knight queen into d4, knight to c6, attacking the queen, queen h4. Now after queen to h4 was played, just bishop e7 simple. Now long castle. White has developed 1, 2, 3, 4. We can say 6 pieces. He brings the king into safety by bringing the rook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces are developed of white. And but there's a price to pay. The price is that the king will be weak here because the king only has 2 pawns to protect it, and also because the king only has the king has the c file open. The open c file can be a very big subject of attack of black in here. So that's why these are the disadvantages. So after long castle was played. Okay, what should be played after long castle? This is a good question. Queen a5. The queen comes to the queen side and targeting the a2 pawn. I mean, in future we can think of playing knight e4, taking the knight and taking the a2 pawn. That's why white played e3, defending the c4 pawn. Bishop d7, developing the bishop, and now just king b1, ensuring that the king is safe and also protecting the a2 pawn. h6, attacking the bishop, though it's not a threat of taking here because queen into h8 is hanging. So that's why this is a little bit tough for white, but white will figure out his ways. C into d5 was played. E into d5, making an isolated pawn, but getting this diagonal open. The bishop can join any time from f5. Okay, this diagonal is open. The bishop can join from f5. And now, after bishop to f5 was played, after e into d5 was played, knight to d4. We take on d4, e into d4. Well, after knight d4, firstly short castle was played, attacking the bishop. And now bishop into f6, bishop into f6, queen h5, attacking the d5 pawn straight forward. Now knight into d4, e into d4. And now here the fun starts, real one. So it was played bishop to e6, defending the d5 pawn. Now f4, threatening f5. It was played rook c8, attacking the c3 knight. There can be exchange sacrifices later on. f5, attacking the e6 bishop. So, but black played rook a to c8, which is better, because here thing is that the rook into c3 move is coming, and sometimes the f7 pawn can be problematic. That's why this rook is here. So now there's a problem. Will you play queen to h7, queen to h7? Okay, so after rook a c8, f5 was played, rook into c3, f into e6. Okay, I spoiled the move. I am bad at this. Rook into c3, brilliant move. F into e6. Now idea is that if you play b into c3, bishop d7 is also enough with an exchange sacrifice and an attack, but queen into c3 wins. F into e6. Now queen to b4 check, important move. Now you have two bad options. First one is to play king a1, bishop into d4 check, rook into d4, queen into d4 check, king b1, f into e6. And now there are 3 pawns for a piece, and rook f2 is also coming. So this position is doomed. So that's why this is very bad. That's why we play here bishop to d7. Okay, so bishop d7, that makes sense a bit. So what should you play now? That's why queen into c3, and if you now play king to c1, then I play rook c8 check, and now it's, not king c1, king c2, then rook c8 check, king to d3, then there's queen into d4 check, king e2, rook c2 check, king f3, rook, queen, queen into d1 is just enough, king f4, and you win the queen. Where you go, I win the queen, and it's easily winning. So That's why this doesn't work. After bc3, here not bishop to d7. So bc3 was not played. F into e6 was played in the game. And now pause the video and think what will you do. Important movement. Okay. So what will you do? Here. What will you do, Alexander? Here. Okay. Now was played Rook to a3. Brilliant move. What a brilliance. Okay, so after Rook to a3, let's see the idea. Why black very obviously wants to take on a2. Now there's a defense here. Even here, see. This position only minus 0.6. It seems that no way, you're kidding. After b into a3, we have queen b6 and there are two options, king c2 and king a1. King c1 loses because of bishop to g5 check, and you have to take because king c2 rook c8. That's why queen b6 check. Now king a1. Now bishop into d4 check comes, rook into d4, queen into d4 check, king b1, fe6, and now there's rook f2 threat. Very much same position, just the king is on. It's the same position, just rook f2 is the threat, and we win. But here is the fun. The thing is that here there's still a defense for white. If you love defensive tasks and want to find the move, pause the video and think. Firstly was played e into f7 check, natural move. We take on f7. And now actually the defense is to play b into a3, queen to b6, and you may be like, oh, we saw this position, king c2 is losing, king c1 is losing, king a1 is losing. But if you spotted there's a third option, aha, you were good. There's the third option, bishop to b5 check, an amazing move. Bishop to b5. This is the logic is that this queen is supporting the bishop to attack on the d4 pawn, which is important pawn. Now if bishop to b5 we play. Now after queen into b5, here the queen's support is lost and the d4 pawn is securely protected. So after king a1 f into e6, black's position will only be better, not winning. But in the game, first he played e into f7 check, which is giving up the chance to draw. Rook into f7, b into a3, and now all of a sudden it's just winning. Queen b6, bishop b5, queen into b5, but there is still room to make mistakes as we saw in the game. So after here king to a1, there are options. In the game was played rook to c7, but actually the best move is to play queen to c5, queen g4, then queen into a3 is hanging, but rook e7 is also there with the threat of rook to e4. Also there's the safer queen to c4, which is more human and more safer. And after queen to g4, rook e7, the rook e4 idea, it's still winning. But here was played rook to c7, blowing away this win. Hard to blame him for a blunder, because this is such a obvious move to play, and this is such a not so obvious position to play. So rook to d2 was played, rook to c4, attacking the pawn, rook h d1. Now rook h d1 is again a blunder by white, because the best move is to play rook e1. If you know something about defense, you may heard the word counter attack. It means we don't defend ours, we counter attack. So rook e8 check is the threat, and now it's all of a sudden equal. Black has to play queen a5, rook e8 check, king h7, queen f5 check, g6. If queen into f6, there's rook c1 check, and then queen into then queen c3. So that's why g6, queen into f6 is bad. Rook e7 check has to be played. If you take on e7, then there's check, here check. If you play I take, then king g8, and then you can either repeat or go back, but repeating is more easy for a row. So that's why there's this move. And if you play bishop to g7, I just take on g7, takes, and then queen d7, and now there's perpetual check, or even you can continue fighting. So this is the thing. Rook e1 was the best move, but rook d1 blunder was played, and now this position is all of a sudden lost. But still the pressure didn't heat down as Laskar played rook to c3, which is a blunder, which makes things not equal, but even better for white. See, this is the trick. This is so tough here to play. Now queen to f5 was played with an idea of rook to c2. That's why queen to a4, preventing rook c2. Queen to a4 was shown in the game, but in the game was played queen to c4, which is an mistake. No, not a mistake. It's a dubious move, because here we can see that the valuation has went plus 1.7, but how? See, the a3 pawn is hanging, rook c1 check threat is there. How is this position plus 1.7? That's the trick, my friend. Now you have to just do one thing good for you. Pause the video and think, what should you do in this position? Very important. In the game was played king to b1. My goodness, amazing move, because after king to b1, it is very hard to spot. If you play rook into a3, I play rook to c1, and then rook c8, and then there's threats of rook c8 check, so that's bad. And if you play b6, I don't know with what kind of idea. b6, rook into a3, rook c2. Oh, with queen b4 check idea. Then after b6, they play just rook to c2, exchanging the rooks. Rook c5, nice. Rook d2, they exchange the rooks, and now white is better. So, but in the game, king b1 was a fantastic result if you found this move. But here in the game was played king to b2. The decisive mistake. Minus 2.7. Now was played rook into a3. Brilliant tactic. Kudos if you found this. So now the threat is to play rook into a2 check. Obviously. So first queen e6 check, king h7 was played, king h8 was easier here. This queen e8 check, king h7 and no more check. But Lasker went for king h7, king into a3, queen c3 check, king a4, b5 check, the last touch, and after king into b5, queen c4 check. White resigned because the threat of king to a5, bishop to d8 check, queen b6 and a into b6 beautiful checkmate is inevitable. So here in the game white resigned. So this was the amazing game. Okay. White resigned. Now your result. The result is 0-1 Lasker 1. Okay, first thing is that you must not lose hope in tough positions. Like there were plenty of defenses in that position, but Pillsbury wasn't able to find one. He was able to find one, but then he screwed again. So don't lose hope until the last moment. And second is that these types of things are brilliancies, but players when they do such games, they are not so happy when they see the mistakes. They just see the mistakes and see. They don't even call it a nice game. But everyone makes mistakes. This is so complicated. Everyone would make mistakes. They do not appreciate the fact that they won a beautiful game. So we need to be satisfied with our game to enough satisfied with our game to improve, and enough dissatisfied. Yeah, we need to be satisfied enough with our game to be happy, and enough dissatisfied with our game to improve, or else we get stressed or we'll relax. So these are the takeaways from this game. Okay, that's pretty much it. I hope you like it. Don't forget to the bell icon. Thank you.